So, have you guys ever wanted to know a bit more about Dragon Ball? Well, this is the video for you. Okay, so before we start, let's get a couple things straight. I will divide this video in two sections, one for animated content and one for manga content. I will try to keep my descriptions of the entries short and easy to understand, but if I ramble on a bit on some parts, I apologize in advance. Okay, now let's get started.
Hey, it's me, Goku!
Okay, so far our first entry is it's actually a TV special that aired around July to August in 1992, commonly referred to by fans as the movie overview special because it's basically just an ad for the Super 13 movie. Uh, Based on its description, it starts off the same as the movie with the crew shopping while the two new androids are causing problems, yada yada yada. But where things start to differ is when Goku and Trunks shift the battle elsewhere, and Goku and Gohan show up in the city again, but in white tuxes now. And from this point on, the whole thing becomes essentially a glorified clip show, where they just show different clips and highlights from the deep Dragon Ball and Z movies. At the end of the special, Goku powers up and the tux is gone. And now he has his gi again. Gohan tries to do the same thing, but somehow it doesn't work. It's stated he's not strong enough. I mean, okay. And then he just tells the audience to go watch the Super 13 movie, and that's it for the special. Okay, so now before we go over our next entry, I just wanted to bring this up very quickly. There is a other TV special called Dragon Ball Z Year-End TV Special, and it's just more or less another clip show episode. Here's a short description of it, which states: Goku is dead, decides to teleport back to Earth to spend New Year's with his family, and while he is there, they decide to take a look back at what all happened in Dragon Ball Z that year, covering the Cell Games and the Afterlife Tournament. I just wanted to bring this up since the special gets mistaken very often with the movie overview special. I just wanted to let you guys know there are two different separate specials. And now let's go over our actual next entry. So you guys know what PSAs are. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what they are. Well, did you know that Dragon Ball actually has a couple of its own, which are Goku's Traffic Safety and Goku's Fire Brigade? I'm not really sure to pronounce that, to be honest with you guys. Okay. Both of these were produced around the same time in 1988. Both are not really too noteworthy. They're just PSAs and are pretty short, being around 10 to 15 minutes long. But I'll summarize them anyways. Okay, so first is the traffic one. It starts off with Goku trying to get to West City because it's Bulma's birthday. On his way, he encounters some random tiger thief that will not let him pass, but Goku just ends up speed blitzing him. He ends up just getting, just hanging on the log, and Goku just leaves him there to die, I guess. I mean, we never see that tiger again after this point, so I'm just going to assume he died off screen. Meanwhile, in the city, Roshi and Krillin are trying to get to Bulma's birthday, but end up getting lost on their way there. They go look for directions, but they see a boy playing with a toy car, but he ends up almost getting run over by a traffic lady. Fuck. Okay. He almost ends up getting run over. Then a traffic lady comes to see if the boy is okay, and ends up teaching him a lesson on how he should be more careful while crossing crossing the street. And she also yells at him. Also yells at the driver for almost running him over. And then Roshi and Krillin ask her to help them out and finding Bulma's party. Then we cut back to Goku in the city, still trying to find a way to get to the party. He runs into Suno, that one girl from the Red Ribbon Army saga. Her. She gets mad at Goku for crossing the road so carelessly and helps him cross the road. Oh yeah, the reason she's there is to see her cousin, Shinseki. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, to be honest with you guys, but he's there. And then she sees her cousin almost get run over by another car. Goku saves him with the power pole. traffic lady shows up again and then teaches the kid and Goku about stoplights. And then finally, when Goku arrives at the party, he manages to eat all the food, and everybody gets mad at him and tries to jump him. Goku runs out of Capsule Corp. Then the traffic lady blows her whistle and makes them stop running. Um, that's where the first PSA ends. Now it's time for our second PSA. Okay, so Goku's Fire Brigade. It starts off with two kids playing with fireworks until one of them lands in a trash bin, starting a fire, but Goku notices and puts out the fire with a hose. He warns the kids to never play with fire again. Afterwards, Goku, Krillin, Master Roshi, and Yamcha all volunteer to be firemen. They put out a fire, and then Roshi explains how fires can start in multiple ways, and that's how it ends. And now it's time for our last entry for the animation section. Okay, so are you familiar with this clip right here?
この時代は俺と悟空が無天老師様の修行をしている頃だ。なあ悟空。あれ、悟空は？
But do you know where this clip came from? Well, it actually came from an OVA/game called Dragon Ball Z Gather Together Goku's World. This game was only released in Japan for the, sorry if I butchered this, Terebikiko, which was basically an advanced toy phone which was hooked up to a TV and the VCR where kids could interact with what's going on screen by using the phone to talk to the characters in the game. This game was part of several made by Bandai for the system, with those games being based on other anime like Anpanman, Sailor Moon, and they even had a Mario game for the system. This system lasted a good while, with it being released in 1988 and then being discontinued in 1994. This game was made with new animation by Toei, but the actual game itself is just a trivia about certain stuff. There's a plot somewhere, but it's really not special. Fun fact, besides Goku meeting his younger self, this is also the first time Goku fights Cell, and it's pretty underwhelming, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, that's basically the end for the section. Now it's time for the manga based section. Okay, so I'm not sure if this technically counts, but I think it fits better in this section, the TV/film animation comics. Okay, so these were made to coincide with the movies and are mainly another way to experience the movies in a simpler way. They contain screenshots of the movies with text bubbles and sound effects. Toei started making these in 1992. The first Dragon Ball movie that had a comic was Dragon Ball movie 5, Dragon Ball Z movie 5, Cooler's Revenge. After making comics for the more recent Dragon Ball movies at the time, Toei went back in 1995 and started making comics for the 7 movies that came out before Cooler's Revenge. Eventually, they made comics for the TV specials and even made it a matter of fact. They still do this with modern Dragon Ball movies to this day. Recently, Superhero got its own film comic. Also, the TV anime has its own. In 2005, they started making comics for the Z anime. They did not do any for original Dragon Ball, sadly. But they ended up making comics for all of Z, and they even made Underworld Tournament into comics. So that's pretty cool in my opinion, to be honest with you guys. They even made comics for GT in January 2014 issue of Psycho Jump magazine to coincide with Dragon Ball Heroes' then current Evil Dragon Missions updates. But it skipped everything all the way to the Shadow Dragon saga. It ended up running for 38 chapters, lasting 5.5 years in total, 2014 to 2019 with 3 volumes. Soon after the Shadow Dragon saga ended, they announced that they were going back and making the comics for the earlier parts of GT, which is still in Serialization actually. Also, outside of Psycho Jump, the only way to read these is with the 3 volumes I mentioned earlier. And for my knowledge, none of these are translated, so if you're probably going to have to look far and wide to read any of these comics in English. Okay, so editor's note right here. I kind of made a mistake here. It turns out there's a listing on Amazon for 3 volumes in Spanish. So I'm guessing that I don't know if they're officially translating in Spanish or not, but they're there on Amazon. I think it's around like $70. I'll put an image out here. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know about that. So that was a little mistake on my part, and probably not hard to find in English. So yeah, let's continue back on the video. Okay, so for our last entry, I'm pretty sure most of us are familiar with One Piece, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Toriko crossover. But did you know that One Piece and Dragon Ball had a crossover all the way back in 2006? Let me explain. Oda and Toriyama decided to do a collaboration for Weekly Shonen Jump 2007 issue 4-5 called Across Epoch. I'm sorry if I butchered that name, by the way. It's a one-shot crossover between One Piece Dragon Ball that started development back in the fall of 2003. When Oda was editor at the time, sorry if I butchered this, by the way, Takahiro Habuda, who also was the editor for Toriyama's one-shot Nico Majin Z, who suggested that they do something together. Both authors agreed. In fall of 2005, the storyboard was complete with Oda adding things that fans of both series would enjoy. Eventually, in the fall of 2006, Oda handed the manuscripts to Toriyama, who then started inking. And finally, in December 2006, the chapter was ready for publication. Afterwards, both authors stated that it was enjoyable time and they had fun making the little crossover chapter. If Toriyama's saying that even though it was a crossover, Oda did most of the work and he just drew his characters, but Oda was really impressed by Toriyama's amazing line work on the chapter. Okay, so that was my obscure Dragon Ball media video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more of these kinds of videos, please let me know. I'm sorry this took so long to come out. I've been pretty busy with like school, studying for my driver's exam. But even so, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to follow me on my Twitter and join my dead Discord server. Happy New Year's, and next year could be a big year for my channel. But, you know, that's enough of me. Peace out and see you guys later.